What do you think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume?
Whoa, hang on, whoa. Turn that shit off. I think we can do a little better than that. In fact, I know we can do better than that.
What do you think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life.
Hey, BALLBUSTERS! Bates here! Your friend and mine, Ray Mungus, and we're ready to play catch up on episode 28 of Way of Life Live on our new home here on Dead Entertainment. So, how's it going over there, Ray?
It's going pretty good. How are you?
Whew. Exhausted already.
Yeah, I think we're about wrapping up right now. So get to the goodbyes.
Wow. So finally, back in the new home. I'm not sure I'm liking how I have the chat set up, but I can adjust that as we move forward.
Yeah, I was about to say we definitely need a new chat situation going on.
Yep. I definitely it looked better on previews than it does there. So I will look for a much better chat layout because that is unacceptable.
That's like early 2000s MS Paint.
Yeah, no, it as I said, it looked better, but then again, I didn't have much room to work with on the new layout.
Yeah, we'll work it out. I mean, like I was uploading the old episodes to the Dead Entertainment YouTube channel today, and seeing how we progressed over the years, not only like hearing it, but seeing the layouts that we had and how amateur things were, and then looking at what we're presenting today, chat excluded. Oh, there you go. You got rid of it.
Yeah, I killed it. It was pissing me off.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I have the chat up on my other screen, so I can still see everybody.
Yeah, we see you. But yeah, no, we've progressed quite a bit as far as the overall look, the tone, and everything. And I think we got better at just yammering on at each other for hours. So I'm pretty confident about this.
Yeah, definitely. New layout looks amazing. The new intro came out really well, better than my freaking hack job.
Hey man, like we had to start somewhere. I basically sent the guy that actually did our intro, so it's John Mantel. You'll see him in the chat if you're hanging out watching right now. But in any case, like I sent him your original intro, and I'm like, throw something together like that, like make it similar. And he's like, all right, no problem. Like not even like 5 minutes later, he's like uploading it. It's rendered and blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, perfect. It worked out great.
Yeah, it took him 5 minutes just to shit all over my intro splash. Thanks a lot. Thanks for making me look bad, man. I appreciate it.
That's good though. Like we got that support. I'd rather somebody come in and make us look bad, because then I guess maybe it steps up our game a little bit, or we just like outsource all the stuff to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I like that. Just outsource everything. Fuck that. So much shit to handle.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, shit, I've been working. I think I finished like social media around 2:30, something like that. And I've basically been working on all things Way of Life since, and finished, I don't know, 15 minutes after our normal start time. By the way, get used to the whole lateness, because we are always fashionably late. We're gonna try not to, but
we were getting better towards the end of our last run. So,
and then we took like a month break. So it was like, like we've regressed completely. We're going to be bumbling over our words, not knowing what to say. He's going to get up and leave me randomly. It's going to be a mess tonight. So you don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, and I didn't get much sleep last night. Friggin' Tao woke up at like 3:30 in the morning to get to the airport to fly back to California. So I ended up waking up, and I was just never able to go back to sleep.
Which is really weird, because I'm normally the guy that doesn't get any sleep, and I got like 10 hours of sleep before my 4 o'clock shift 4 a.m. So it worked out because I'm still going somehow.
Well, it's funny is when I came home, I was messaging you. I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna start working on all the new layout stuff in 5 minutes," and then I laid in bed and I took a 2-hour nap.
Yeah, no, I kind of expected that. You scared me for a minute there because it's like I glance at the clock while I'm working and it's 7:57 and I'm like, we're supposed to go live in 3 minutes. He hasn't been seen on our chat in 30 minutes. Fuck.
I was actually trying to frame a poster in a new frame I got, and I was just ignoring everything else.
Well, there it is.
All right, so first episode on our new home. I guess we should just kind of do a little recap on what exactly the show is. Basically, we are a weekly podcast every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. ish, and we mainly discuss horror news, horror topics, anything new in the world of horror. Our secondary discussions are based on just geek, sci-fi culture in general, mainly comics, because Mungus and I are both big comic fans. So we do talk a lot of Marvel and all that good stuff on the second part of the show.
It was like bleeding over anyway. So like we figured, give it its own segment. Let us sit there and get it out of our system on the show. While we're doing the exact same thing for our.
Yeah, pretty much. And tonight we're actually going to forego any comic and geek news and discussions. We're just going to kind of just stick strictly to horror, play some catch up. Sometimes we'll do mini reviews on things on the podcast, and just anything new in the world of horror. We're ready to discuss it. Movies, TV shows, video games, comics, anything. It's just anything goes here. So before we really dive into tonight's show, I want to remind everybody that tomorrow night here on this channel, I think around the same time, 8 p.m., we will be doing ish. Always add in the ish. We will be doing another live movie commentary. Yes, the live movie commentary finally returns. It's been about a month and a half since the last one, which was it was Lucio Fulci's Gates of Hell, also known as City of the Living Dead. We had a lot of fun with that. One of my all-time favorite movies. We did that about a month and a half ago. And tomorrow night, it looks like it was close. The polls were really close. But we do have a winner. It was between I Drink Your Blood and Cannibal Ferox. And Cannibal Ferox won.
Yeah, I was really surprised how close the voting was between Facebook and Twitter. And they were completely opposite. For whatever reason, Twitter was all about I Drink Your Blood. Facebook, diehard Cannibal fans. And, the Cannibals won. It worked out. So tomorrow we're going to be watching Cannibal Ferox, which is, I want to say, an Umberto Lenzi film. I always get those Italian directors, minus the big ones, confused, but pretty sure it's Lenzi.
Yeah, it is.
It's one of my favorite cannibal movies, which is, I guess, a weird thing to say, but it's a fantastic movie. Really cheap, cheesy, total ripoff of Cannibal Holocaust, but it's a fun movie. I mean, for the soundtrack alone, it's worth watching. So yeah, you should definitely tune in for that.
Yeah, you're gonna see me on cam, and I'm gonna probably be dancing from the second the movie starts, because the soundtrack makes itself obnoxiously apparent as soon as the movie begins. But it's a fantastic soundtrack. I love it. I love the movie. The movie is great. It's just so balls to the wall out there. It's wonderful. I'm looking forward to doing it.
I think we're doing it just me and you. I mean, I'm gonna feel around a little bit and see who who might be interested, but it might be just a dual commentary for once. Like we have other people join us. We've been trying to get a few other like non-Dead Entertainment staff to come hang out and like scheduling and things like that. But I'm gonna see what I could cook up before tomorrow.
Yeah, it would be nice. I've been working on trying to get a few people I know to come in and do guest commentaries with us. It just hasn't panned out for them yet, but hopefully soon. I'll actually reach out to a few more, maybe tonight, and see if they'll be around. They'll be up for it.
It seems like with the way the work world is, like everybody is working Friday nights, and that's like the biggest, I guess, wall that stands in our way to get people involved in this thing with us. Everybody's stuck working or whatnot, and thankfully we're lucky enough not to have to work Saturday morning or like work on Saturdays. Not that bad, so we managed to pull it off. But we'll see what we could get, and if not, we're gonna have fun anyway.
Yeah, that's the kind of movie that we don't need anybody. We don't need anybody else for any movie we watch together. It's just how we do.
Pretty much. Lord knows we've watched a shit ton of them.
So yes, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Cannibal Ferox live movie commentary. Should be a lot of fun. All right. So why don't we just get into the meat and potatoes of tonight's episode? And we're going to go ahead. Don't forget, I have bumpers.
I was just about to say, I'm going to shut up.
And we will start the show the way we start almost every show, and that is with horror news. It's a horror fiction, still the screen addiction. Cinematic gore and murder, it's horror fiction, not a fact prediction. Movies cannot make you a killer. It's so all right, so if anybody out there in chat, anybody out there watching right now was a kid growing up in the 90s or a horror fan just growing up in the 90s, everybody should be familiar and should remember and should love Monster Vision. Monster Vision was a big part of my childhood growing up. I loved watching it every weekend. And it's just Joe Bob Briggs was just an amazing host, so funny, just so quick-witted. It's fantastic. Well, a couple months back, he began teasing this upcoming possible project. And he let us know about a month or two ago that it was finally happening, and it was going to be on the Shudder Network, and that it was going to be like a 24-hour horror movie marathon that he would be hosting in the same vein as he hosted Monster Vision. Well, we finally got word and date that it is happening and when it is happening, and it is titled The Last Drive-In on Shudder Network, Friday, July 13th.
What an appropriate day. I just gotta say.
Yeah, it definitely is. I was reading up some things he said, and I don't know if I buy it 100%. He said this is going to be the last time he does one of these host jobs like this. And I'm still under the impression that if this pulls in big viewership, that they might offer him maybe a weekly or a monthly gig, kind of revitalizing and rebooting Monster Vision.
Even if they offer him something like event days, I'd be cool with that too. Like, I mean, not to say we need like we would get bored of it after a week or after seeing it once every month, but like if he did Friday the 13th, maybe Halloween, like do a Christmas one or something like that. If he did like little tentpole ones throughout the year, I think that would really satisfy all of our horror fan needs for something like that. And at the same time, it'll, not put that pressure on him to like have to host something big like that very often. Just it'll give him a little bit of a break between him, and he can refresh and come up with new things. Not that he really needs to, because the dude's a genius. But I think it would be a good situation. It definitely seems like they're testing the waters, like you said, though.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, he did say this would be the last time he does this, but I don't know. I'm thinking that's just sort
Like
of
a
a
wink,
Reddit.
at, like a wink at the title. Like
Yeah,
I sort of got that vibe too, and I'm hopeful that he isn't going to hang it up after this. I'm sure he'll continue to write and go around introducing movies at various places, which you and I were lucky enough to see in person, which was awesome.
he. Oh, he did. He introduced Reanimator at the
That he did,
Alamo.
yes, sir. And like I was actually talking to my brother who runs Dead Entertainment, and I was basically telling him what Joe Bob Briggs is all about and everything like that, and like within that 20-minute to it felt like 20-30 minutes or something that he talked. Maybe it was less, but in that sort of 20 minutes or whatever, he really gave us a history, like not only on the film but the era, the people that made it and everything like that, and the impact that something as cheesy as Reanimator had on horror culture and filmmaking in general. And it's like after you hear like a speech or something like that from Joe Bob Briggs, you're kind of blown away by how much knowledge the man has, and I guess how important the movies are not only to him but to film fandom in general. And like he's a I don't want to like oversell him, but he's like a national treasure when it comes to film, especially schlocky days and things like that.
Yeah, he could make like the worst movies overly enjoyable. That was it was like a talent of his. And
Oh, easily, without a doubt, man.
I owe discovering a lot of movies because of him and Monster Vision. I mean, it was on Monster Vision that I first saw and fell in love with the Tom Savini 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead. It was the first time I ever saw it was on Monster Vision, and I absolutely fell in love with the movie. So, Monster Vision, it was really, really important to me as a kid growing up. Just almost in the same vein as like Tales from the Crypt. Watching that on HBO as a kid late at night, really, really kind of shaped my horror world.
Yeah, it was very impactful for many people our age, but I think it's going to be equally impactful for people that are just enjoying horror now. Like there's I've noticed on Twitter and stuff, like it seems like there's not just us that's excited about this. There's different age groups that are heavily anticipating this, and that alone makes me excited because it's going to take a lot of old movies that may not have been seen by a lot of these horror fans of the modern day films and such, and it's going to open their eyes to some really good movies, some really bad movies, and I don't know. I think it's just going to be a 24-hour event that's fun for everybody.
I really wish it wasn't on a Friday, wasn't on a work day, because I would be one of those insane people who would try to stream the entire thing while doing commentary on all of it. But I'm gonna be at work, and it's just not something I can take off work to do.
No, I totally understand that. They haven't really clarified yet, not that I know of at least, that he said in the video, in the YouTube video, that it's going to go from dusk till dawn to dusk again, and then halfway through dawn. And I don't know exactly what he means by that. Like, is it going to be starting like Friday night? Is it going to be starting at Friday at midnight, or is it going to be starting like 7 p.m. Friday going into Saturday? And like it's a little hairy right now when the thing's going to start. If it starts Friday night, 7-8 o'clock, that's going to be perfect.
Yeah, it's gonna completely make my weekend shot to hell. But at least at that point on Wednesday and Thursday, I can at least go out. I can buy a bunch of balls and get coffee and get all my supplies ready, and then I can just be a total hermit shut-in for 24 hours, sitting in front of my computer, just being a big old horror nerd.
You're describing my entire weekend that weekend, and like we haven't decided what we're gonna do. We want to kind of mark the occasion with something. We were just kicking around the idea of doing, like popping in every so often to do a live stream on YouTube, but we haven't really molded out the plan yet. But we really want to do something on Dead Entertainment for this, and Bates and I would go back many, many years. We have many horror conventions hanging out together, and one of the biggest things we do at cons is just marathon movies. So, like, even if I gotta go over to his house and hang out, drink beers, and we'll live stream somehow, that's what we're gonna friggin' do. It's been a while, and I'm looking forward to just watching a shit ton of horror movies.
Hey, that works for me. As I said, the wifey is gone. Not that she would care anyway.
She's sweet.
And there's plenty of spare rooms with beds now, so it is all good. I could probably, since I have my furniture down here in the basement, I could probably set it up to where we could actually be live streaming and be really comfortable. It's it's something I'll look into.
Yeah, we'll definitely kick it around, and as soon as we know, you'll know.
Well, you know what it is? They really need to release the time at which this event is going to be starting, and then we can plan properly.
Like it's been like a week, and we still have no idea.
So definitely looking forward to that. I hope everybody else is excited as I am for it. 24 hours of horror movies. Can't go wrong there, man.
Not at all.
All right. So next we have. Well, we missed E3 a couple weeks ago. Personally, I wasn't really impressed with anything, but I'm just an old miser when it comes to video games lately, and it just nothing much impresses me anymore with video games. I think they all just look and feel the same. That's why I tend to stick to indie games. I feel there's more love put into those. But our friends over at Capcom finally gave us what we wanted, and we got footage and demos and gameplay of the Resident Evil 2 remake. What are your initial thoughts there?
Well, we were up watching the Sony E3 panel, and basically it was an exciting night for Dead Entertainment because we felt like real members of the press for once. Like we had all of our shit together. We were watching live, waiting to post articles that were ready to go. And for the past year, we were basically like chomping at the jugular at the possibility of a Resident Evil 2 remake, which has been rumored for years. After the re-release of the remastered edition, and I think they did a remastered version of Resident Evil 0, but don't quote me on that.
They did.
But, okay. So after years and years of that, we're just like, where the fuck is Resident Evil 2? We want that. We need that. And the rumors got hotter and hotter as we approached E3. And we took a shot. We didn't know if it was going to be there, but we pre-wrote an article ready to go. And we're watching the panels, and most of the games are, I guess, decent to mediocre. I was pretty excited for The Last of Us because it not only looked great, but I hear the first game is great. Everybody recommended it to me and such. Death Stranding looked good. There's a few other games that were decent, mostly not so much. And then they posted this one trailer that basically followed a rat around, and you didn't really know what the hell it was. Like, we thought it might have been another Kojima game because all of his trailers, you don't really know what the hell you're watching. And I still don't know what Death Stranding is, but I want it so bad. And you're following this rat around, and it's online. Go check it out. It'll probably be a lot better than I'm going to try to explain. But ultimately, he finds a dead body, and it's a zombie chomping down on him, which was the reveal for Resident Evil 2. So watching the little teaser trailer alone got me hyped beyond belief. It was probably like the biggest pop of the night at E3. And, I mean, shit, you can't go wrong with a Resident Evil 2 remake, especially with the engine they're using. The original Resident Evil 2 is like one of my all-time favorite games. I still think the first one's better, but part 2, I remember that vividly the first time I put that in my PS1. So to see footage, see the trailer and all that, it was kind of, I don't know, it blew my mind. It was really awesome.
The game looks, graphic-wise, beautiful. Looks great. I guess my biggest gripe with the game is that they went with a more Resident Evil 4 style of gameplay rather than, the over-the-shoulder camera. Or, no, that's what they went with, the over-the-shoulder camera, rather than the fixed cameras with tank controls, which is, what the early Resident Evil games were known for.
For sure. But let me cut you off slightly and say that I revisited the remaster and I got so frustrated with those controls. I love the fact that they're in very much horror angle shots, I guess. Like following the guys around. It's very, very cinematic. But it is frustrating beyond belief now to play that game.
See, I don't think so. It still feels very natural to me. I don't know. It's a small gripe, but a gripe nonetheless. It's not going to deter me from buying the game because I did enjoy Resident Evil 4. I just felt it's a far cry from what the series was, and it honestly I felt like Resident Evil 4, again, as good as a game as it was the beginning of the end of the franchise for me. They just kept getting worse and worse from there. But this one does look pretty good. It looks like it's blending enough of what made Resident Evil 2 and 4 both so good, and combining them, and I think the end result is going to be something special. And at this point, I'm hoping that, fans like the game does well, and then maybe we get a Resident Evil Nemesis remake, or personally, my favorite of the franchise was always Code Veronica. So a Code Veronica remake would be really awesome.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, just the fact that we're getting part 2 alone, I'm more than satisfied with. I'm excited to try Resident Evil 7. I think I'm going to get some Dramamine and see if that doesn't make me want to throw up, because I can't deal with first-person games. But I don't have to worry about that because I got Resident Evil 2 coming, and it's back to what I can handle. Not to say I don't want to see a future in first-person Resident Evil, because they took the series and really, really went with it. They took it in a way that I had never expected it to go, and shit, I think they should keep running with it for the time being. But at the same time, they're giving me an option for somebody who's not really into first-person games or can't really play them that much. So the future's still bright. If we see future remakes and things like that, sign me up. I'm down.
Yeah, I can't really comment on Resident Evil 7. It just never drew me in, so I never played it. And even I watch people stream it every once in a while, and it's just, I don't know. It's just something about it. It just doesn't feel like Resident Evil to me. It feels more like, oh, look, it's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, except there's no Leatherface.
No, I could definitely see that. Capcom is never very subtle with their transitions. They just kick you in the nuts and say, here it is, enjoy it, and that's the end of that. But I like the fact that they change it up. They spent way too long, in my opinion, just playing or making the same game over and over again. And I think they got to a point where they're like, you know what? We're going to hit Resident Evil 5. We're going to hit Resident Evil 6 if we keep that up. And I think they're learning from past mistakes. And at the same time, they're bringing some of the stuff that fans wanted for years. Remasters, remakes, trips down memory lane, and being able to play those classic games, but in an updated format. So I think we're getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be pretty good. I'll learn to deal with my gripes. And the game just looked too good. I'm not sure if I'm really a fan of Leon's character model, but I'll deal with it.
You'll deal with it and you like it.
All right, moving on. Let's see. So, Victor Crowley returns to the swamp in the upcoming Hatchet Vengeance comic series. You know,
God, you sound so tired of Victor Corelli returning to the swamp. You're just like, again, God.
yeah, he needs to go somewhere else. He needs like a suntan or something.
Like Manhattan or Canada?
Um,
I'd take either one.
you know, I had seen like an image, I guess from one of the comic covers of him battling like a giant swamp thing looking monster. Did you see that?
Yes, I did. I'm intrigued. Like they're definitely like, okay, well, what can we do with Victor Crowley? Oh, I got it. Swamp Thing, but we don't have the rights, so we're going to make a thing in the swamp.
Yeah, it's at that point they're almost trying to turn him into like a hero character. It's like this slasher villain is going to go slay a monster.
Yeah, but like modern day slashers, don't they all eventually become a hero character? They like the horror kind of gets
No.
outshined by the fact that you wanted to see them kill people.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
fans
they're a hero in their way, I guess.
fans enable them to be in a hero status. Doesn't make them a hero just because fans see them as a hero because they're going around just slaughtering other humans doesn't make them a hero.
Valid point. But fans also make the creators push in that direction.
Yeah, well, not so much with Victor Crowley. He's just ruthless and will rip your
I agree.
face
I'm
off.
talking more like Freddy and stuff like that. Like I mean, by Freddy's Dead, he was basically like a really cheap stand-up comedian. So like I don't think he's gonna go like full anti-hero or anything like that, but they're definitely taking the series in kind of an interesting way, changing it up a little bit, not changing it up on the big screen, giving it a couple one-offs on comics is no big deal in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I don't mind it. I always like it when series like that, dive into the world of comics. It's so much easier to explore and flesh things out and do things that maybe a smaller movie budget wouldn't allow you to do in a movie. So now you can just go fucking ape shit crazy on pages.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So, what do we know about this series?
All right, it looks like it's going to be put out by the same company that did the last Hatchet series, which I believe, if I remember correctly, it was like a 4-issue mini run. I have them sitting right next to me, but I have not read them yet, so I can't tell you anything about that at all. But the company that's putting them out is American Mythology Comics. I think it's an independent company. I don't remember where they're located, but they have a lot of cool comics that you'd never really expect would get comics. Like not necessarily horror, but like they'll have a Pink Panther comic or things like that. Like little probably intellectual properties that are a little easier to get their hands on. But I don't know. It's cool that they're out there making independent comics like this and moving into the direction of various horror movies. And Adam Green is very, very protective of his series. So like I know that it's in good hands. That's the one thing that's like without a doubt a fact. I don't know exactly the plot of this, but I know issue 1 is set to arrive October 31st, which is perfect timing.
Well, there is a little synopsis, I guess, for the series. It says, when a mother driven mad with grief seeks a voodoo priestess to end the beast that slaughtered her child, a new horror is unleashed on Honey Island Swamp, and an unsuspecting group of teens, shocking there, is caught in a bloody monster free-for-all. So I guess it's sort of like a Rawhead Rex sort of monster kind of summoned and then does battle with Victor, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe. I mean, it's kind of tying different elements from the Hatchet movies into its own little story. It's not changing his mythology too much, it doesn't seem. Really curious about this swamp monster, though.
Yeah, it sort of looks like Man-Bat, Swamp Thing, and the Crate Monster from the Crate all had a really
Fun time.
really drunken night together, and this thing came about.
Oh yeah, that's extremely accurate. I'm looking at the picture now, and I could see it. I don't want to, but I can.
Yeah.
I want that third cover though, with the belt sander.
Yeah, that's a pretty
nice
good
cover.
one. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I think that's the one I'm ordering.
So, yeah, definitely interesting premise. Definitely the kind of thing that they wouldn't have a budget for. Well, Adam wouldn't have a budget to do on the big screen. You know, it's making a giant swamp monster like that. That's not happening. Not on his budgets.
I mean, as much as we'd love to see that, it's just like, I mean, there are 4 Hatchet movies in. The last one was a surprise, shot on a shoestring budget, and you know, while you're watching a movie, it definitely shows that it wasn't that, you know, like it didn't have a lot of money behind it, but still a blast. So any trip to Honey Island Swamp, I'm down for. Comics, movies, fuck anything, you know, like audiobooks, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, and fans go crazy for anything Hatchet and Victor Crowley related. I mean, he was a character in a movie franchise that just took off, and fans respond to him very, very well. So fans are definitely excited for anything Victor Crowley related.
As you can see with me.
All right, let's see. What do we got up next? Series lead Andrew Lincoln to leave The Walking Dead next season.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means. That's all
right,
you.
so that's all me. Any Walking Dead news, you know, Bates never really wants to jump in. He's not a fan. He doesn't watch The Walking Dead.
So yeah, I can't properly comment on it.
Yeah, I've been a fan for a while. A friend of my brother's actually got me into the comic many years ago, and the show I've been a constant viewer for since the first season. So that's why this news is a little unsettling to me. Andrew Lincoln, as many fans of The Walking Dead know, is Rick Grimes, the main character of both the comic and the television show. So, with no end in sight for The Walking Dead, it is a little peculiar that the series lead has decided he's leaving the show. I believe we're in the 9th season. The 9th season's coming up. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But yeah, he's calling it quits. From what the reports say, he's going to be in a handful of episodes next season, and they're essentially going to be writing him out or killing him off. I don't know exactly. None of us do, really. And as if that's not bad enough, Lauren Cohen, who plays Maggie Green, another very important character in the comics and the television show, is also set to leave the show. So I don't know. I don't know if they're jumping off a sinking ship, because the last couple seasons have been getting not so good reviews. I mean, I think a lot of fans are kind of just pissing and moaning over things that they need to be a little more patient with. Maybe their patience ran out. I don't know what it is, but it seems like there's a big fire over in the Walking Dead world, and I don't even know if it could be put out at this point.
Sure. Everything he said.
No, but I mean, like, think of one of your favorite shows, and imagine the main character leaving the show while they just got over one of the most important arcs in the comic and television, and are about to head on to another brand new beginning, a new path, and boom, your main character's calling it quits. Like, it's, I don't know, like, as a fan of a show, any show for that matter, that's like unfathomable to me.
Yeah, well, whenever that has happened with other popular shows, like, I was a big fan of that 70s show. Loved that 70s show. One of my favorite shows growing up. And when Topher Grace left the show, You know, he was the main character. He played Eric Foreman. And when he left the show, it was just like, oh, yeah, this isn't as good as it used to be. And then they replaced him with this other goofy kid. I forget the character's name and the actor's name, and it was just like, oh, this is even worse now. Oh, what happened? You know, you can't just replace a main character. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, they're trying so desperately to patch the holes. They from what the reports are saying, they're even throwing a boatload of money at Norman Reedus, who plays Daryl, the most overrated character on the television show, especially now that he's long outlived his usefulness. In my opinion, like, I've never been a hater on Daryl. A lot of people are. I've enjoyed his character from the beginning. I enjoyed his progression. I thought he was a very important character throughout the series. But like, when your character is like limited to just kind of like staring off into the distance and being moody around the rest of the characters and not really saying anything, like, it's time for you to become zombie bait as far as I'm concerned. Instead, they're going to try to make him the next person in line to take over for Rick, and I don't know. Like, maybe it could have worked earlier in the series. I don't think so, but we're at that point where it seems like AMC is just making desperate grasps to try to fix something they desperately wronged, and I don't know if it's going to work. I doubt it's going to work. So we're probably on the final ride for The Walking Dead, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, this is like the equivalent of like the Transformers, and Optimus Prime is leaving. Bye bye, and he's passing the torch down to fucking Hot Rod. You know, nobody likes Hot Rod.
Exactly.
Fuck you, Hot Rod.
It's so bizarre to see that show wrapped in the whole Rick Grimes and their legacy and everything that they built across the last 8 seasons rather. And here we go. They're gonna try to keep it afloat, and it just, I don't know. It's just sad to me.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen. It's it's upsetting. I don't want to see a show as popular as this fail in this way. Maybe not fail, but go down this way. It's not fitting for a show that, again, is as popular as The Walking Dead. I mean, I tried watching the first couple episodes. I got through them. I just wasn't feeling it, and I just let it be from there on in. But, every convention you go to, there's Walking Dead people. There's people cosplaying as Walking Dead people. They have Walking Dead conventions. They have zombie walks centered around the Walking Dead. Everything Walking Dead. It's just like became a fucking
cultural phenomenon.
Exactly. You took the fucking words right out of my mouth. It's it's just like how Game of Thrones just fucking blew up. But I mean, at least there's dragons and zombies and sex in Game of Thrones.
Dare I say that if Walking Dead followed a similar format where nobody's safe, including main characters, I think this would be less groundbreaking. But they don't. Like, the entire show is just, centered on that family, and like, the people that are around them are along for the ride. Sure, they're great stories tied in with them, but once you have that family gone, and I don't want to spoil too much, but like, we lost some people along the way, and once you have that family gone, like, what's the point? A lot of people are saying maybe this is exactly what The Walking Dead needs to get back on track and be forced to change things up and give us a different type of show. Maybe it'll breathe some life into it, but I doubt it. People are just seeing this as justification for the last few seasons of their own hate toward it, and I don't see it really coming back from it.
It's just, any good show knows when it's time to hang it up. Even if they go off and do maybe another spin-off show, or wait a couple years and then come back. Good shows do that, Good shows take breaks for a couple years, and then guess who's back, baby? And fucking they come back, and the fans are revitalized because they haven't had the show shoved down their throats for the last couple of years. So they're ready to rehype themselves up to dive back in. And sometimes it works out. Sometimes the show comes back either just as good, maybe just slightly off but still good, or sometimes better. But when you give fans that time to kind of get desensitized to it, it works in the show's favor, I think, a lot of the time. So maybe that's what they should do. Maybe they should work towards doing one more season and, letting it be.
Yeah, I agree, and I actually appreciate shows that aren't afraid to let that hype die down. I mean, we have Westworld, Stranger Things, Game of Thrones. They've been letting Fargo, another good one. They've been letting multiple years pass between seasons, and the viewer base doesn't go down. If anything, it builds that excitement for it, and everybody is back. Everybody's excited to see what's next. Fuck it. I mentioned Fargo before. Maybe they should take the Fargo route and just give us new stories for every season. I mean, maybe in light of this whole leaving, they could turn it into something like that. We'll see. You never know.
I guess these are why that's why they have people who run these shows, because they know better than us. So maybe they got something up their sleeves.
Doubt it, but we'll see.
All right, so let's see what else we got here.
Stuff and things.
Trailers. We got some trailers. Trailers we haven't talked about, and new trailers that just came out about a day or two ago. So we finally got a new trailer for The Predator.
Yeah, we got a few of them, but this was probably the biggest.
Yeah, it's I don't know how to explain it. I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it.
I think that the trailers have gotten better since the very first one. I didn't dislike the first trailer, but it definitely left me wanting more. Like, not in the good way, not in the like, oh fuck, I really need to see this. In the that's it. That's all that you're gonna give us. I guess that's a teaser, but as the trailers and TV spots have kind of ramped up, we're seeing more of the movie, and we're seeing more of the whole progression of things and the vibe that everybody is giving off within it. And I don't know, like I'm digging the whole vibe behind it. Like it's an interesting take on the Predator movies. It's a bit of a departure from what's happened in the past, but I don't know, it's intriguing to me. And with Shane Black and Fred Decker involved in the screenwriting, like I'm in.
All right, I was liking the trailer up until the what are we calling this new Predator? The Super Predator, Uber Predator,
Uber Predator. I like it.
Until this Uber Predator showed up. All right, now the Predator is already a formidable hunting and killing machine. It's already typically larger than your biggest human, faster, more agile, way more deadly, way stronger. So you don't really need to tweak the overall design and anatomy of the Predator. But they decided to kind of just go against that and just be like, big Predator. Really big Predator. Let's do that. It's going to be awesome. I don't like when they just make things bigger for the sake of making them bigger. Now, I get it. There's going to be a story behind it. I've already read theories from some of the writers over, on Dead Entertainment, and they're very plausible, and I get it. I just don't like it. I think it's lazy storytelling, and people could probably say, well, you're excited for Meg. That's just a giant shark. Yeah, but the thing is I was also a big fan of the book series that the movie is based off of. Meg and the prequel, which was called The Trench, both fantastic books. And yeah, I get it. It's just a big Jaws. Well, fuck you. I read the books.
No, you know what, man? Like, I totally get what you're saying, but I guess it all depends on how they're going about the story. There's a lot of rumors going around that the giant predator is human created or a human predator combination, which would be interesting. It'd be cool if it was a predator created by humans. Naturally, they would only make it bigger and badder. Like it's just kind of ingrained in our DNA to do that. So like, yeah, I could totally see how that would work out, and it would make sense to me. But like, we really don't know anything about it, and quite frankly, like, I don't want to know anything about it till I actually see it.
So if that's the case, if that's what it turns out to be, then this Uber Predator is nothing more than a ripoff of Nemesis from Resident Evil Apocalypse.
Yes, specifically.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, man. But like, I mean, it hasn't been done in a Predator movie. I'm sure it's been done in other movies. And when you're in that situation where you're fighting an alien race like that, happen to get some alien tech, I don't blame the humans for trying to give them a taste of their own medicine, if that turns out to be the case. And I could see that being the full-on premise, especially when you look at that new poster that was released around the same time as the trailer. With you see the Uber Predator with a smaller predator's head in his hand, so it kind of gives me that vibe that Uber Predators on our side, humans. So we'll have to see how that plays out.
I'm just not getting my hopes up for the movie. I'm gonna see it, but
Fred Decker, man, Fred Decker. That should be enough to get your ass into the seat and at least give him the benefit of the doubt.
I was actually going more for Gary Jake
Busey.
Jake Busey.
And speaking of which, like, if you go to deadentertainment.com, you could find a really, really intriguing theory. If you want potential spoilers, like, one of our writers, he basically ran with a concept that he had, and it's really interesting. So go check out that article. I think it's within I think it was posted last night or yesterday, something like that. It's on the front page, so give it a look.
So yeah, as I said, I will see it. I'm just not getting my hopes up for the movie. I don't know if I'll see it opening night. Right now, the only thing I got focused, I'm honed in on is Ant-Man and the Wasp.
When does the Predator come out anyway?
I don't even know.
Yeah, I have to look that up. We should go. Let's go.
Okay.
Right on. There it is.
Sure. Talk to me after next week when I get my Ant-Man fix.
Yes, very true. That crept up on us, man.
Not me. It's been a hard wait, long wait after Infinity War.
Well, I've been going to a bunch of other movies, so like, I'm going to the movies again tomorrow. No, Saturday, and I might go again if I happen to watch The Incredibles, because everybody tells me that first movie is really good and the sequel's pretty good too. So I want to go check that out.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it. I haven't seen either, but I have heard really, really good things about it. And I loved Big Hero 6, another animated superhero movie. So I think maybe at some point I'm going to give The Incredibles a shot.
Yeah, man.
All right, back to horror. So, since our long hiatus, the Halloween trailer dropped, and we never got an episode to discuss it.
Man, like, before our hiatus, like, I felt as though I was scrounging the internet for any piece of news. It seemed like we had a news drought for a while there. And I'm like, oh, maybe we could talk about this, even though it's kind of lame. And we take a handful of weeks off, and boom, the floodgates completely open, and like I was writing the episode tonight, and I'm just like, there's so much to talk about. This is absurd, and I didn't want to sit there and just constantly focus on old news because it's been a while. But at the same time, these are important things. Rick leaving the show, Halloween 2018 trailer dropping, the new Predator, all this stuff. It's too much not to talk about. So like, yeah, we definitely had to get it in.
All right, here's my problem with that fucking trailer. Not the trailer. I actually like the trailer a lot. My problem with the fucking route they went with this story.
You got a problem with everything.
I do. That's my thing. It's my thing. It's my fucking gimmick over here. I liked the trailer a lot. I liked the way it looked. I liked the way it felt. What I did not like is the fact that they retconned one of the most classic and beloved endings in a horror movie ever. Basically, what they're saying happened at the end of the original Halloween movie is that he got shot, he got up, kind of wandered off. Yeah.
Nope. He got shot, fell off the balcony, and that's where he was left. I don't think they're going to be including the surprise where he's gone. I honestly think he got shot, his ass got put down, and when the cops showed up, they told him off. I think that's the retcon. I don't think they caught him wandering around the Haddonfield.
See, that's what I think. I think he got up and wandered off, and they just kind of like drove down the road and saw him. He was like trying to snatch one of those baskets of candy that the lazy people leave on their front steps for Halloween. Please take one. And Miles was like, I just got shot 6 times. I'm taking it all.
Like they followed his blood trail. He's like fighting with a little kid for his ghost costume. He's like, I need this.
But yeah, I don't like that. Him getting up and disappearing after being shot 6 times. That's iconic.
Very iconic.
Don't fuck with that.
Completely unrealistic. You don't get shot point blank in the chest and get up and vanish like that. Unless you're like an all-powerful being. Which he's not. He's human. He's human in that fucking movie. He's human in the sequel. I forgot when he started turning weird and mythical. But it's not realistic. I kind of like that they went for something more grounded.
Yeah, I don't like it when they fuck with history. And, something iconic like that bothers me. That's like...
You were prepared for this, though. That was like one of the first things that they said.
I know.
They were going to change the ending a little bit.
I just wish they kind of figured out a different way to do it. But it is what it is. As I said, the trailer really had a great gritty feel to it.
Yeah, it had that grittiness that like was apparent in Rob Zombie's movies, but it captured Halloween just like John Carpenter did. It like I don't even think Rob Zombie's movies even came close. Hell, dare I even say, like movies past Halloween 6 even came close to capturing that Halloween vibe. Not like the remake that seems to.
Yeah, so I think fans are really in for a treat with this movie. It's going to be really interesting to see how it ends. But the trailer did get me excited. The whole being locked up, I guess, in the insane asylum or the mental institution or wherever he is. That the one scene they were showing was really awkward looking.
It very much reminded me of like a Kubrick shot. Like
that
scene screams Stanley Kubrick like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
One of my favorite shots in the trailer, by the way, aside from him dropping teeth in the stall that the girl was in. I don't even want to think about how he got those teeth.
He found them.
What, the guy's mouth in the garage?
He found them. He robbed the tooth fairy.
Oh, that's horrible.
But Yeah, no, it was a really well done trailer. I was very surprised. I was ready to be let down, to be honest, and I was pleasantly surprised. So
Very, very intense to me. It just the vibe did it for me. Seeing Jamie Lee Curtis back and her having like she feels like Laurie Strode in this, not like Halloween H2O. Even though the characters are very similar between the two, like she's still kind of playing that hard ass, that like Sarah Connor sort of vibe, but it feels like she is the character from the first one. Whereas in H2O, it didn't. It just seemed like I don't know, they changed her character entirely.
yeah, she didn't feel normal in H2O, but I mean that whole movie didn't feel normal.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
That whole movie just reeked of slasher movies of that time.
Very much so.
That movie felt like it could have been any movie in the Scream franchise, or I Know What You Did Last Summer, or Urban Legend. It could have been any one of those fucking movies. It had that feel. Ugh.
Yeah, you're completely right. Just swap out the killer and you pretty much got the same movie.
Thankfully, that movie is no longer canon, and in fact,
Yeah.
nothing is canon anymore.
Yeah, it wiped away quite a bit. So I'm intrigued. I'm interested to seeing how things go with it. I mean, it's all we could ask for. I mean, a proper feeling Halloween movie at this point in time. This what are we? 40 years after the original. I think the
Yep.
40th anniversary is coming up this year, or it came up already. And shit, I mean, you can't ask for better than a movie that feels like the original, and it continues that story.
Yeah, it seems fitting after 40 years.
No doubt.
So, let's see, what do we got next? So, I recently wrote a review for the Netflix original movie Cargo, which is a post-apocalyptic zombie movie. Been there, seen that, right? A million times. And it wasn't a movie I was going into with high expectations. I saw the trailer. Trailer looked very interesting. I was like, all right. I heard a couple of good things about it. I decided I didn't have anything going on one night. So I popped it on and watched it. And wow. It's when a movie in a subgenre like the zombie subgenre comes along and can kind of change the way you view and see a zombie movie. Because let's face it, zombie movies have oversaturated the market big time. So now, there's a new zombie movie out. It feels like every other week. And so there's no impact to them anymore. So you're watching them, and they're all throwaways. Fucking. It's like I've seen this one, yeah. Let's see. Oh, this is a new one, but I feel like I've seen that one about a million times. So, watching Cargo, it sort of gives you a little bit of a Walking Dead vibe, but what they do is they kind of turn the whole zombie mythology on its head a little bit, and these zombies sort of act more like the infected in 28 Days Later. They have really strange tendencies in the way they act, and as you're watching them, that's what you're thinking in your head. You're thinking infected from 28 Days Later rather than a typical, let's say Romero type zombie. These zombies they're fast, and they're pretty brutal. They're pretty ruthless, but they also have more weaknesses than your typical zombie. They're very sensitive to light, and after you're bitten, you have about 48 hours before you're completely turned. So the overall theme of this movie, unlike other zombie movies, you watch 100 zombie movies and 99%, 99 of them, it's just all about like just solitary survival. Well, this movie is, it's about survival, but it's about survival on a different level that you've never really seen in a zombie movie before. It's about survival of family and legacy, and giving the main character, his name is Andy, him giving his daughter a chance to grow up and fight for herself and fight on her own in this infected world. And the scenery really helps. It's like Mad Max meets The Walking Dead, and it was beautiful. The scenery is absolutely gorgeous. The characters and their chemistry together, and there's only really like 3 main characters, and one of them is a kid. I guess 4 if you include the baby. And it just, they bounce off each other so well. Better than most zombie movies you see today. Have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't. Like, your review actually got me really intrigued to check the movie out. I had never heard of it beforehand. I didn't hear much hype surrounding it. So it just kind of came out of nowhere when you shot in text and said, "Hey, I'm going to review Cargo," and I was like, "What the fuck is Cargo?" Yeah, I read the review, and it kind of opened my world to it. Like, I was very much intrigued to it, and I immediately put it on my Netflix queue. Been busy getting this stuff ready to go, so it's on the back burner for now. But I don't know, like, having seen the trailer, it does look really, really good.
Yeah, and it's wonderfully paced. It's not too fast. It's not too slow. And the movie works so well on so many levels. And I think there's a bit of social commentary hidden within the movie, just like your typical Romero zombie movie. I touch on that in my written review over on deadentertainment.com.
And if you're listening now on Dead Entertainment's YouTube channel, I just posted a link in the chat.
So I don't, again, in my review, I say I don't know if it was deliberate and on purpose that I at least interpreted this social commentary. I don't know if they did it on purpose, or if it was a happy accident, or if I'm just reading way too much into the fucking movie, which I do sometimes with movies I really, really like. Like, if anyone's ever seen the movie Let the Right One In, I think that the movie is a social commentary on, bullying and anti-bullying. And if you have a bully, just go out and befriend a vampire. I might be reading into it too much. I don't know.
Yeah, just a smidge, because I don't think vampires exist.
Well, I guess if anybody would know a vampire, it would be you. You're the only one who's up at all ends of the night.
Yeah, and I can confirm that I'm not one. At least I don't have any recollection.
You are pretty sensitive to light, though. Sunlight.
I am. I really am.
So, I don't know. I might have stumbled onto something here.
I do like garlic, though. Maybe that's just bullshit. Just a whole wives' tale.
But yeah, so if anyone was kind of on the fence about seeing Cargo just because it's another zombie movie, take my word for it and give it a watch. I mean, it's Martin Freeman. It's Bilbo. It's Bilbo. Bilbo's in a zombie movie. Fucking go watch it. It's awesome.
Yeah, like, that's the thing that kind of turns me off to zombie movies in general. They generally have that same pace. They have that same vibe. Where point A is going to be. Where point B is going to be, all the way to Z. And from the sound of it, this one takes the genre in a very different direction. And maybe not different, but unique. You know, they really put some effort into making it stand out on its own, which seems awesome to me. That's why it's an instant watch. You know, like something that I'm really excited to check out.
Yeah, any zombie fans out there need to give Cargo a watch, and you'll be pleasantly surprised at how well crafted the story is and how beautifully shot everything in the movie was.
Yeah, well, when I get around to watching it, I'll definitely probably bring up. I won't go into it as much as you did just now, but I'll definitely share my 2 cents on it. I have a few things I have to watch before then, like 3 or so episodes of Westworld that are just sitting there, like just itching at me right now. Like let's wrap the podcast up because I want to watch it. But no, I've got a handful of things that I'm going to be watching very soon. That's on my to watch list, at least for horror, very very soon.
Well, yeah, you have that, and
Don't say it.
I'm sure you haven't even started Luke Cage season 2.
Dude, I have something bad to admit.
You haven't seen season 1 yet, have you?
Oh no, I've seen season 1. That was amazing.
Oh, you didn't go through the Defenders yet.
I did. I watched that. I haven't seen
Jessica Jones season. Oh,
Jessica Jones season 2, and Luke Cage, and Agents of Shield's most recent season. I'm a horrible person.
Well, you want to know what's going to make it even worse? You're going to be even more backlogged because I think tomorrow Glow season 2 drops.
Are you kidding me?
Nope, I swear to God.
I might have to binge that first because that show is incredible.
Yeah.
Oh man, you know what I'm just gonna do? I'm like, I don't care if I have a vacation or not. I think I'm just gonna take a week off in the summer on a paycheck that's not necessarily important. I'm just gonna pull what I did when I watched Game of Thrones for the first time, like 1 week, just 10 hours a day, maybe more, of television shows, and just really catch up.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can binge Glow tomorrow at work. That way, I'm not like chomping at the bit during the movie commentary tomorrow night. Like, yeah, let's get through this. I got Glow to watch
at 5 times the speed.
So if they're only 30-minute episodes, so I should be able to breeze through it pretty easy. And
that's the only disappointing thing about that show. Like the short episodes kill me. Like I want a full 13 episodes or whatnot of 40 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, but I sort of liked it for season 1. It worked.
Yeah, no doubt. It just left me really, really wanting more. So.
All right. Well, I did not realize we're about 90 minutes in so far. We'll get into the main discussion kind of real quick because we've touched on this a lot on the website already. But recently, it was announced from Gun Media and the guys over at the Friday the 13th game that there is no longer going to be any new content released for the game. They will keep doing updates and patches to fix stuff and to clean the game up a little bit, but don't expect new counselors, new maps, new Jasons, new game modes, new anything. All of that has been shut down because of the ongoing legal battle between Sean Cunningham and Victor Miller over the rights of the franchise. It's a massive blow to fans, and fans of the game, fans of the movies, because this also obviously puts the movies on hiatus. Well, not that they've done anything in the last 10 years, but we can't expect anything.
Yeah, I feel like the game was supplement to the fact that they couldn't really get their shit together to make a movie. And now, we got the sort of low blow when all the legal matters halted the movies. We got to that point where it's just like, okay, well, we weren't really getting it anyway, so this sucks, but it's nothing that we haven't been dealing with. Then Friday the 13th, the game comes along, and it's just like, hey, here's your fix. You want Jason back? We'll give you Jason. You want Kane Hodder back? We're going to give you Kane back. You want to kill people, smash people, hit people in a sleeping bag against a tree. We're giving you all of that. And we still have that. But in a game like Friday the 13th, the game, the whole online mode, even their most recently released single player mode, it's just, it thrives on content that's continuously being updated because let's be perfectly honest, like playing a game of that, like it gets repetitive. They've got what 100 plus levels at this point, and to even get to that level, it takes a lot of work. And you've streamed the game what, probably over 300 hours, I think.
Yep.
So like when you're at that point with the game, you're just salivating at being able to get anything new, even if it's a new counselor, a new animation, a new game mode, something to really kind of change things up slightly, an in-game event, anything. Now all of that is gone because of this legal battle, and it's incredibly frustrating as a fan. It's incredibly frustrating knowing what the developers must be going through, and everybody that's probably bound to lose jobs as a result. Because I forget who the guy's name was. Wes Keltner or something like that. He said that like they can't pause the game's development and wait for this whole legal mess to be cleaned up, which could take years. They can't just sit there and be like, well, all right, guys, we'll just work on other stuff. They're paying people. This game costs quite a bit of money to keep up and develop for. And it's just going to get to the point where the main developer or the main distributor is just going to be like, all right, guys, the song's over. We can't hold this up any longer. And they can't rely on waiting for a big legal mess to be concluded. And it's just a shame, but it just seems like this is the final nail in the coffin for Friday the 13th for the time being. Definitely probably the game. I'm hoping that the developers could switch gears and maybe take on another franchise. One thing that I suggested previously in private, they should probably tackle Hatchet, because it's Friday the 13th like. Games are very similar, and they probably could get the the IP, the intellectual property, relatively cheap. But like, is it that easy to switch gears? Like, can they do something like that?
Yeah, I don't think it quite works that way, but
obviously not for this game. But like starting a development on something new, I think it'd probably take a lot of.
They are working on a new game.
Oh yeah, anything about it?
Yeah, they've posted some things about it. I forget what it's called, but they are working on another game.
Well, that's good. At least there's something down the pipeline. I'm talking from more of a perspective of filling that void for the horror fan that has played that game obsessively and just wanted it to keep going. Like maybe that could be the third game in the line. Maybe they could get somebody else to pony up their rights and they could develop another horror icon game. Probably not. But like I'm grasping at straws here for desperation. It kind of sucks to see the game go this route.
Yeah, it was. Fans waited a long time, and we enjoyed it. And now the ride is over. The game's not going anywhere. I mean, it's still online, it's still active. They're still gonna release updates to fix stuff, but this the game was dying as it was because we hadn't gotten our new game mode, and there were still a lot of issues that needed to be fixed. So the game was already sort of on life support.
See, I'm wondering if this thing was passed down a lot sooner, and they were limited. Excuse me. They were limited in what they could get away with developing and putting out there, and maybe it was a situation where they knew that this Death Note was on the way, and they really couldn't put that many manpower or that much money and that much manpower on a project like that was ultimately not going to be able to be released. I mean, like the development on Uber Jason and the Grendel, and it's just going to sit on a shelf on a hard drive somewhere. Like it's never going to see the light of day unless it happens to, just accidentally get uploaded online or something like that. All that content takes a lot of effort, and maybe the writing was on the wall and they knew it, and that's why there was a lot of issues with with the game, and they were just trying to get what they were working on for a long time out before the hammer came crashing down.
Yeah, well, as I said, the game was already on on its lifeline, and as I'm looking right now on PC, and there's just slightly over 400 people in game right now. It's a shitty situation. I'm sure I'll play it a little bit more before it's going to be impossible to find other people to play with.
Are you going to be switching over to one of the other similar games? The names are escaping me right now, but
like Dead by Daylight, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Once last year, I still got to try to get into like one of the last year betas. But last year would be the next game I would pick up after Friday the 13th dies.
Right on. Is Dead by Daylight's the one that's been putting the horror characters in and everything?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I've been thinking about giving it a shot, just because I guess I'm preparing for the inevitable. I don't play Friday the 13th a ton of time. Like I'm not on there very often. But it's just I love horror games. I've been surrounded by them since I played video games in the original Nintendo. So, they're part of my life, even though I'm not playing them all the time. So, with Friday kind of on the outs, maybe it'll get saved last minute, maybe not. I'm looking for something else. So, I'll give a couple of them a try.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, we've talked about this quite a bit, as I said on the website. I also managed to get a quick little interview with Larry Zerner, who played Shelly from Part 3, who's also
that was really cool.
Yeah, who's also a like a film lawyer and stuff. So he knows about these kind of legal battles over franchises. So I was able to ask him a couple questions and clear up a few things and get his perspective and ideas and just overall knowledge on the subject out. He had put out some really good tweets telling fans not to be mad at Victor Miller. This isn't his fault this is happening, so don't hate him. And his tweets kind of really blew up in the community, and I thought it'd be really good just to get a little bit more background and a little bit more info. So you can read that. That interview's over. It's up on deadentertainment.com. I think the link just got posted. So
yeah, I posted the link in chat on Dead Entertainment, and if you go to deadentertainment.com, it should be on the front page. If not, just search Larry Zerner in the sidebar, and it'll pop up. It's a cool little interview, fun little side story to that. My brother basically, the interview was given to you, given from you to my brother, who forwarded it off to Larry Zerner from our email account, and he updated me throughout the day, and I was basically like, oh, right on, awesome. And he's treating this guy as some random lawyer, and I had to tell him later on. I was like, you just emailed Shelly from Friday the 13th Part 3, right? And having seen the movies with me, he's watched them while I watched them growing up and everything like that. He's like, huh, really? I'm sitting there treating the guy like a just average everyday Joe lawyer, like the random lawyer that Bates found, and yeah, it's the guy that was responsible for giving the legendary hockey master to Jason. No big deal. Just Larry Zerner, the lawyer. Who knows? So yeah, I thought that was a fun little tidbit regarding that interview. A great interview. I just posted in chat. Go check out deadentertainment.com. Find it, read it, enjoy it.
All right, I think that is going to wrap it up for us tonight. We're a little over that 90-minute mark, which is right around a little over what we try to keep the show down to. But 90 minutes is usually where we like to end it, because at that point I think
you forget that we're cutting out 20 or so minutes of music.
Yeah, that's true too.
So I think we're at that sweet spot. I'd like to go a little bit less, but at the same time, everything. We had a lot to catch up on tonight.
Yeah, we did, and getting used to the new format, the layouts, and I had a bunch of things to do on my end to get the stream ready.
Yeah, it's just a never-ending battle when it comes to getting the show ready, and I always feel like the show is about ready to start, I'm still working on everything, and you're still working on everything, and it's just, I mean, some episodes we'll like snap back and forth at each other because like you got to do this, you got to do that, and we get it done. We show up a little late, but we make it happen.
Definitely. So thank you guys for coming out tonight on our first stream on the Dead Entertainment channel. We appreciate it, man. All the followers and subs who are here tonight, thank you so much. If you know any horror fans and geek fans, comic book fans who you think would enjoy this kind of stuff, make sure you send them our way. Send them to Dead Entertainment. If you liked what you heard and you're not a subscriber, it's just a little button somewhere on the page. You can just click it. It's all good. And make sure you follow us on Twitter at DeadEntSite. Hey, do we have a new Twitter handle?
No, it's always been that.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, I made a mistake.
I was like, what the fuck is that?
I was quickly editing there. Yeah, it's at DeadEntSite, DeadEntsite.
Yeah, no, all right. That's like, the fuck.
Yeah,
dude.
no, I was like, what are you talking about? I look over and I'm like, oh, shit. Oops.
And you can like us over on Facebook, facebook.com/Dead Entertainment.
I also wanted to plug our co-writer contributor Brandon Evans' show. If you're not familiar, he does a Twitch show every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. It's at twitch.com/Dead Entertainment, I think. Go to deadentertainment.com, click the little Twitch icon. You could pretty much get to it that way. If you're into game streaming and things like that, definitely check that out. I'm going to be trying to restream it to our YouTube channel. So, like, if you're a subscriber here, you'll be able to also check it out on Monday nights. We're going to try to get a couple games like we can all play together. I forget which game is going to be on Monday, but give it a shot. Subscribe here. Subscribe on our Twitch. Do all that fun stuff.
Indeed, definitely good. Definitely some fun times in those streams. I also stream on my personal channel games. I don't have a set schedule. I used to try to set a schedule, but it's just been so hectic that it's just almost impossible for me. But my game streams Live Deliciously in Game, and typically when I do stream, I start streaming at around 9 p.m. Eastern time. And it could be any day of the week, really. Maybe one day I'll set a real schedule, but for now it's just whenever I'm able to, basically.
Yeah, I have to catch you on one of these days. I've been trying to get in on that stream for like a month now, maybe longer.
Yeah, well, I haven't. I did one quick one after last week's stream, and that was my first one in like 2 or 3 weeks. So.
Oh yeah. Well, we definitely got to make it happen.
So. Yeah, so guys, check that out. Make sure you check out the Dead Entertainment Twitch channel, deadentertainment.com. Always got good stuff coming out. And then tomorrow night, one more quick reminder. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern time on this channel, we will be doing another Dead Entertainment live movie commentary featuring Cannibal Ferox. I just want to play like the intro music. That's so good.
Do you have it? Are we gonna? I don't know if it's copyrighted.
How is that?
You know what? I got it. We're gonna start the show tomorrow with that intro music, and we'll get funky.
I don't understand how that would be copyrighted. Who's gonna copyright that? Seriously.
I would.
So, all right. So that is going to wrap it up for us tonight. Again, make sure you check out deadentertainment.com for all your horror news, needs, wants, and probably things you didn't know you needed and wanted. Got anything else to say?
Oh, yeah. You can follow me on Twitter at Ray Mungus, and that's about it. I retweet a lot of shit from Dead Entertainment, so get used to it. On occasion, I'll I'll say something. I don't know. I say enough here, so fuck it. Just follow me on Twitter, follow Dead Entertainment on Twitter, and tune in next week.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for us, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to pretty much our inaugural episode here on Dead Entertainment. We will see
our debut episode. That's also the 28th.
Yes, it's weird how that works, but it works. Trust us. We will be back again next week at our regular day, which is Wednesday nights. Wednesday nights is normally when this podcast happens. We had to move it this week because I had shit to do last night, and I didn't want to miss another week, so we decided to do it tonight. So we will be back next Wednesday, 8 p.m.-ish Eastern Time. Remember the ish.
Emphasis on the ish.
Yes, big emphasis on the ish. And yeah, that's gonna do it for us. So thank you guys. We will see you tomorrow night and next week. And remember,
What do you think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? What do you think this is all about? This is a way of life, costume. This is a way of life.